Yes, sir.
What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today the video will be about cardio versus resistance training, or cardio versus weights, whatever you want to call it. And I'm basically going to go over what they are and sort of what I would recommend you do based on your goals. So yeah, let's get started. To start it off, cardio or cardiovascular endurance is any type of exercise that you're increasing your heart rate for an amount of time. What cardio is designed for is mainly to help your cardiovascular systems and your respiratory systems work more efficiently. This is to improve different types of diseases like asthma and other respiratory diseases. But in reality, what cardio is usually used for is to burn fat or to burn calories. That's basically what it's used for in modern day, I guess. So what resistance training is, or weight training, is using hypertrophy to sort of tone up your muscles. I like to think about it as like sculpting your body. You're building more lean muscle mass. So the American Council of Exercise Science recommends you to do 150 minutes, so that's roughly 20 minutes a day of moderate intensity exercise training, or 70 minutes of 70 minutes of vigorous intensity training. And so they're not very specific on what type of training, but they just say to do some sort of exercise. So the study that I looked at for this is called Effects of Aerobic and/or Resistance Training on Body Mass and Fat Mass in Overweight or Obese Adults. So this was a study in 2012 by Duke University where they compared aerobic training versus resistance training and also combining both of them, and sort of seeing which one loses the most amount of fat. But they also recorded the lean muscle mass that is gained. So the main purpose of the study was to determine whether a significant amount of resistance training will decrease fat mass in overweight and obese adults. And apart from that, they also wanted to see whether aerobic versus resistance training was more effective with burning fat mass. And also they wanted to see if there was any sort of like advantages to combining both, which was their hypothesis to being the more correct one. So Their sample size was pretty large. They had 234 subjects. And so out of the 234 subjects, they broke them up into separate groups. One group would be doing aerobic training, one group would be doing resistance training, and one group would be doing both resistance and aerobic training. And so basically their findings consisted that aerobic training was more beneficial for fat loss. They also found that in resistance training, they actually gained weight, and this was contributed to lean muscle mass. So for the resistance training group, they didn't really lose weight, they just gained muscle mass. And for the resistance training and aerobic training, they found similar results to the aerobic training. They actually lost a higher percentage of body fat mass compared to the aerobic training group, and I guess resistance training was sort of in the back of the pack, and they did the least contribution to fat mass loss. So in earlier reports, they saw that resistance training actually was beneficial for burning fat at some degree, but in this specific study, they concluded that resistance training wasn't very effective in burning fat. So out of the three, aerobic and resistance training, the combination of both, that group did the best. One drawback to the aerobic and the resistance training group is that they did spend a lot more time in the gym or in their workout routines. So that could be sort of a drawback to using both of them in your training regimen. They did spend I believe it was double the amount of time as resistance and aerobic training. If you do decide to do resistance training and aerobic training in your training regimen, I would recommend to do resistance training first and then moving on to aerobic training second. The reason behind this is because when you're doing resistance training, you're gonna sort of be exerting large amount of forces, and this will promote the burn of glycolysis instead of fat. So you basically use up all that energy through the resistance training, and then all that you have left is the fat energy source of fat. So when you move on to cardio and aerobic training after resistance training, that's all you will burn. So you could measure it out. I wouldn't recommend going full on like 2 hours like some people do in the gym. I would say doing interval trainings or sprint trainings where you sort of you go for, let's say, 30 seconds and then 10 seconds off or something like that. Something where you're continuously moving but at a high intensity. You get short breaks, and it's not just constant intermediate training. So I would say to use more of the vigorous interval training if you want to see results in the fastest way possible. And so yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Please let me know if you guys have any ideas of what future topic can be. I'm open to suggestions. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.